they call
All right,
it.
it's 6 o'clock. I'm going to go ahead and call this meeting to order. Today we have Pastor Colby Wallace from West Oaks Church down at the junior high. His wife, Crit, is employed with us, and he's got a senior daughter, Emma, and a freshman, Noah, attends CHS. If you want to just come stand up here, and then he's going to go eat dinner, so he's going to skedaddle. Thank you for coming.
Y'all pray with me. Lord, we thank you for everyone that's here today, and God, we thank you for the effort and the time that goes into making CBISD as good as it is. And I just thank you for our administration and how they work hard to not just appease parents, but to really work to encourage and empower our teachers. Thank you for them. I thank you for our teachers and the hard work that they do, and I thank you for this board, the vision that you give them, God, that it would be good for our community as a whole, and encourage them all today, Lord. It's not an easy job, and God, we know that. And so, God, would you encourage them, strengthen them in what they do, and help them to know, Lord, that it's a good thing. And so we thank you, Lord, for this time. We pray it would be fruitful. We ask this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Will you join me in the flag? I pledge allegiance to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag.
I
Pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you. Okay, first we've got campus communications.
Who's up first? Principal Galloway.
Yay! The first pictures are just highlighting staff and all the grade levels at convocation. Of course, we have a lot of new faces, so I wanted to highlight them. Thankfully, they fit right in with our Barrow family. And then first day of school pictures, if you notice, these are all of our staff members, minus me. He's not my family member, obviously, but I needed one more picture to fill in. But all of these people have their children or some sort of family member at Barrow with them. And I just wanted to highlight that. Miss Cantu didn't take a picture with Carolina on the first day of school, but it's super important, and it definitely adds to our family feel. And these are our new second grade faces that joined us this year. They have come right in and followed right along with all of our expectations and our procedures that we have at Barrow. This is highlighting the Cornerstone Church. They came in and donated mulch and re-mulched our entire playground, as well as cleaned out all of the tree area on the car rider side of the school. That marquee has been there for a long time, so long that it says Barrow Eagles, and we are no longer Barrow Eagles. But it has been a mess in there for quite some time now, and they came in and cleared it up. And they take on a project for Barrow every year to help us and keep our campus pretty. So we are truly thankful for them. And then Phillips 66 reached out. This is the second time they have donated or given a grant to Barrow to help with school supplies. And they reached out this year, and Barrow was selected again. So we are super thankful for that, and all of our community partners that help us make Barrow great. So I wanted to highlight them. Along with the living room, there was no picture, but they came and did a prayer walk at Barrow this on Sunday before school started. So we truly appreciated that. And then one of our big things as we started off the school year is the first 20 days. Each day we're introducing a new expectation, whether it's practicing an expectation that they should know, or introducing a new one that is new to Barrow. We're introducing the Barrow Way. And this is today, after 5 days of school. All of them were engaged in how to have effective partner conversation and how to listen to our peers when they're talking, and what it means to listen and then speak whenever it's our turn. But they were all engaged in the instruction that their teachers were giving them. Each one of them knew their role in how to participate today, so I was really proud of them all.
Principal Kenny.
All right. Starting off, we've got athletics rolling. We had Midnight Madness, so we got some pictures there, so it was great to get everybody out before the school year even started. You can see the new turf, which is looking great as well, so it's nice to have that up and going. Cross country's already competed. We had Melanie Lobato, number 292 there, was second overall in the varsity level, so they're off to a good start. Volleyball's playing tonight in Palacios, so we've got things rolling on that aspect. We've got Chromebook rollouts. We've got band and culinary. They're going over policies and procedures in class. So we're not quite using 20 days like elementary, but our kids still at this level need to go over refreshers of policies, procedures, how things in the classroom work before we begin on the academic piece. So that's what they're doing there. They're labeling and culinary labeling the utensils and what they do with them, where they put them, how they get them. So going over policies and procedures in class has been a really big thing to start our year. Then we've got the band tower went up today. This is in the process. It is up. It is finished. I did get some pictures after school from Mr. Hackett of it finished. I didn't have them in time to get this submitted, but they're very happy to have the band tower up. So it's huge and it's impressive. So thank you very much for that. And then we have Mr. Umber coming in for art. He's doing an art teacher of the month. So it's not just creating art, but he's going over art history. I would tell you the name of the author, or the artist, but I've forgotten. I don't want to lie to you. But he's decorating that hallway where the art room is every month with a different artist of the month. So it just helps create that atmosphere as kids go down the hallway. They get excited about going to art class, and then that extends to exciting about every class that they attend. So we're off to a good start. We've got a lot of smiles in the hallways, so we're just happy to get going.
Principal Lacerio.
All right, so the very first the convocation picture on the left is all of our staff. So we're excited to have a strong roustabout staff this year, welcoming a few new faces and a lot of faces coming back. At the top, you see our PD. The teachers did a collaborative PD on the 7 Steps initiative of the best practices to implement in classes. And so we should see some vertical alignment from staff to students as how they learned in PD and work together in PD goes into the first week or so of class. And then we have all of our student leaders showed up. We had almost as many student leaders show up as 6th grade incoming for bout camp. So they were so much fun, and that's how they were welcoming the 6th graders as they got out of the car for bout camp to come and tour the campus. All right, so you see the same kind of situations. We have a classroom at West Brazos Junior High. On the left, you see 7th grade, Miss McGee's class. They're up and talking using sentence stems and complete sentences, collaborating. And then you also see in math, 6th grade math over to your right. They are working and the teachers are moving about the room and students are smiling and having fun and collaborating, also going over the procedures. But what is the expectation of collaboration in a classroom? Getting them up and about. So keeping on with that, students around the room, students working together, teachers working with students, and that's what a classroom should look like at West Brazos Junior High. And those are the teachers doing the same thing. So trying to get that exact replica going of how they did it in PD to how they do it with their students and making it engaging and fun.
Okay, Principal Bolton.
Yes. I too wanted to highlight our new staff at WCE. I'd encourage all of you to go to our Facebook page and check out the staff spotlights that we've been putting out on our new staff. We've got some recent even high school graduates that are now a part of our staff at WCE. We're very proud of that, as well as our new counselor and some new teachers. So we encourage you to check that out. I also wanted to highlight that the high school cheerleaders came over. I think this is the 3rd year in a row that they've come over, as well as Elmo, for our kinder orientation and put on a little show for the kids. And they all get quite, they really enjoy it. So we're just grateful that they come over. It makes it a special night for them. And then the next 3 slides, I just wanted to highlight some of our first day of school pictures to show you all the fun that is happening at WCE. You can proceed to the next one. We're doing very similar to what you've heard the other campuses, where we had the first 3 days of launch lessons where they learned the Wildcatter way as well. And then for the next 30 days, we'll be learning social skill every single day as well to make the year go as great as possible. And one more, yeah, that was it. Cute smiles on first day of school.
Thank you. Principal Cohey.
All right, so this is some pictures that we took from our first day of school. Our students enjoyed going to the gym already, and the kids love the bikes. So if you ever come visit, there are bikes big enough for the adults to ride. So it is fun going in and having tricycle races with the kids, and they know to make the beep beep when they're backing up. So it's fun. We started our color days. We always start first full week with the color red. So yesterday we had red. Today, of course, we had the color orange. Tomorrow we will move on to the color yellow. And then these pictures highlight our pre-K kindergarten new family orientation. It is something that we started last year. It is families come from 9 to 12 to see the school. The kids stay with us. Parents stay for 30 minutes. We go over just things that new families to us need to know, pick up, drop off, car tags, just lunch when the school cafeteria is open for families to come in and have lunch with their students. We ask that they wait till we establish procedures, and then we do let them know at that time about for due to safety reasons, we'll greet their kids at the front door and we'll walk them to class the first day, and everybody understands why, because we explain it to them while we're there, and they have the opportunity to answer any questions and just voice any concerns that they have, and they usually don't. But while they're there, we assess the students to see what they know, where they're coming, what skills they're coming with, and that just helps our teachers to have an idea of where to start the first weeks when we start instruction.
Thank you. Okay, next we're going to move on to citizens to be heard, and we have three.
I'm so sorry.
Ms. Rucker, did you want to? And just like last time, you have 5 minutes.
I didn't think that this was on the agenda tonight.
It's just a report.
Oh, okay.
We're not taking any action, we're just talking.
Okay, that was good to know. Good clarification. So I appreciate you all hearing me out again. I apologize. You're hearing a lot from me. I listened to the rest of the last meeting, and one of the things that really caught my ear was that y'all were saying with this year being the first year, you're definitely wanting to get the procedures set up correctly and how you want it to continue on. And then also that it's like a proving ground for these homeschool students as they're coming in. And I wanted to make sure that we recognize that each of these homeschool students are individuals, have their freedom to act in their own way. I will vouch for my own children, but then that's where my responsibility stops. So, but it's also, in a way, it's a proving ground for our school board, and for these homeschool families who are bringing their kids and saying, is this something we want to be participating in? And then the other thing is it's a proving ground for how the state legislature is going to continue these programs. And so the reasons I'm bringing these up is because I want to be as helpful as possible to our school board so that it can be a successful program. So there's 3 things that I wanted to bring up. The first one is testing, and the Texas Education Code, it's 33.0832. It states that students must take a nationally recognized non-reference or norm reference test within the first 6 weeks of the regular school semester. And so in just some communications with Mr. Galloway and Mr. Kinney, I'm hearing that we're probably not going to even be able to register students until after the next school board meeting. And so I think, I didn't look up when that meeting was. It's the 3rd Tuesday. September 15th. Okay. So, but I was seeing that I think that deadline for the 6 weeks is September 23rd. And so I just wanted to be cognizant of that, because the homeschool students need to have time to get all their ducks in a row. Like while you're minding your P's and Q's, they need to do the same. So that is something I think to be aware of. Then legally, to cover your base and to cover just all the things, it states, there was a discussion that the STAR test from the previous year would be used to prove or not eligibility, proficiency. And so that, I understand, the only concern I have with that is legally, I don't know if that's allowed. And in order for the funding to come through, because I'm not stopping at y'all, I'm gonna continue on to, where the funding is coming from. We wanna make sure that we're having those things in correctly. And so it states that it has to be a nationally recognized test. And the STAR is a state recognized test. It's a criterion reference state assessment measuring TEKS, which is not nationally recognized. So legally, it doesn't meet UI eligibility requirements as far as I can tell. So I guess I just feel like that's a little risky. I don't have any issues with it, but I want to make sure that I can defend you when I'm talking to our, state legislators. And then, and if that's something that you decide, I would say maybe make it a possibility to have both, to have an option for both. One thing that was brought up was it does cost, and this is the parent's responsibility to pay for these nationally recognized tests. That is the parent's responsibility. And I understand that if you do the STAR, then you're, admitting or omitting that cost. Just, I don't know. I want to have really solid legs to stand on. So anyway, the next one was possible fees for homeschool students. So in the UIL, it always says non-enrolled students when it's talking about homeschool students. So the important thing that it states is UIL Constitution clearly states that all students enrolled and non-enrolled should be treated, and this is the quote, is in the same manner in regards to rules, tryouts, pay to play, uniform cost, and enrollment fees. If enrolled students pay, then homeschool students pay because they're treated in the same manner. So in my letter, I said that I didn't think it was ethically okay because we're still paying taxes. All of the parents are paying taxes. And then one thing I was incorrect on in my last statements and in my letter, I said it was $1,500 per student, but it's actually $1,500 per UIL activity. So if my son Wyatt, like this year he would like to do swim and basketball, that's $3,000. It's not $1,500. So that's I felt like that was an important thing to remember. The other thing is that the same money that is allotted to you, or that state money is allotted to you so that you're not having to cover your base or take on, unruly amounts of more costs from the homeschool students. And then the last thing is I just wanted to clarify really quickly that when I said that there was possibly 20 students, I was referencing all the way down to the 7th grade. The other thing I was referencing is people outside of our CBISD boundaries because we have a lot of county people and I actually don't have a clear guide on what the boundaries are. And I saw in the UIL statements, it says that it is up to the school board to allow these students to come. And so I was just wondering if maybe we could be cautious of the wording that you'll be allowing the possibility to consider allowing students instead of just saying we're closing it to only our people within our boundaries. Just maybe be open to the possibility. So that's my 2 cents. I created these quick reference sheets if you would like to have them. If you don't want them, just throw them away. Totally, totally fine. But I appreciate you all, and thank you.
Thank you. Okay, next we have Debbie and Joshua Vera. Hello, and once again, you have 5 minutes.
My name is Joshua Vera, and I am a 9th grade homeschool student. I would really appreciate getting the chance to join the West Columbia High School swim team.
Hi, my name is Debbie Vera, and this is my son Joshua, and we have lived in the CBISD school district area for 14 years and recently relocated to Van Vleck. Sadly, Van Vleck did not pass allowing homeschool students to participate in UIL activities. And so according to Senate Bill 401, subsection E1 33.0832, it does state that homeschool students can have the opportunity to participate in a district close to them, and Bay City ISD also did not participate as well. So we would just appreciate your just consideration in implementing this subsection of the policy when y'all are implementing the rules and things that y'all are trying to figure out for this, because he really loves swimming and would appreciate it. So thank y'all so much for your consideration and your time.
Thank you so much. And lastly, we have Tremaine LeBlanc. Did I say that right? Hello,
Hi, thank you for having us in.
and you have 5 minutes also.
And my name again is Tremaine LeBlanc. And last week, I met with Ms. McCaughey and Mr. Laker over at Columbia High School in discussion of the transition to include homeschoolers in the UIL as curriculars, athletics. And it was my understanding from that they're awaiting your protocol setup and to determine when it would be implemented. And the concern that I have is that for students who want to be included in fall activities, there's to find out like a timeline so that we can prepare and get the students ready. And if there's anything that I can do to facilitate in that process, then I'm available to do that. And so I also called Damon ISD to see what they've implemented on their side for homeschoolers participating in the activities, and I'm still awaiting a call back from them. And so I just want to let you know that we are willing to help and assist in the transition as much as we're able to. That's it.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I would if I were.
Okay, we're gonna just move the agenda around and move up the homeschool participation report.
Cody, would you pull that up? So, board members, it'll be on the screen, but there's also, if you look in your packet, it's about 4 or 5, 6 pages long. At the top, it has homeschool student athlete guidelines and expectations. So just to kind of set this up, since the last meeting, there are several school districts across the state, some smaller than us, some larger than us, that have been doing, that are doing this. And so you're gonna hear Mr. Kinney and Coach Pena kind of talk about it, but the goal tonight was to put thoughts on paper, walk you through it with the idea of you can say, yes, we like this, no, we don't like that. And at the next board meeting, which would be September 15th, for you to vote on a policy for us, okay? As we go through this, Mr. Kinney will talk dates, as we said, with the approval and school starting. Just to kind of get it out of the way, our goal is an October 1 date right now, meaning after the September 15th board meeting, if you passed or set some rules, then between the 15th and the 1st, we would make our announcements and the students and families would be signed up by October 1st. Meaning, yeah, with the goal of them starting October 1st, October 2nd, which if I get that right, that's the first day of basketball, right?
Plenty of time to join basketball.
There's plenty of time to make basketball happen. The other sport you've heard, swim. Swim is one of those sports that it's in UIL, but it really has no start and stop, right? It has a state swim meet, which is in late January, early February. Other than that, we're not going to a swim meet in October, probably, maybe late October, right?
Possibly, but there'll still be plenty of time to be involved in
Right,
this one.
so I think we're good. So that's the kind of what we're talking about just for this year. In any previous years, we're talking about an application by the end of like the last day of July, like July 31st is what we've centered on, meaning a student would have had to apply by July 31st to compete in any sport or thing that we're allowing throughout the remainder of that school year. So kind of just we're taking care of that. But it's kind of a lengthy thing. There's a lot of questions, and so Mr. Kinney, if you just want to.
Coach Payne's going to start
Okay.
with the athletic side of it.
If you can go to the application process, Coach. Here is just a general application form. We're proposing a one-time fee of $100, and that should cover the STAR EOC testing, and as well as any athletic fees, which, as far as the athletic side of it, there's not too many fees that we charge. I know baseball will charge per kid because we give stuff out that we don't receive back. So, they pay for their caps, socks type of thing. So that will be included by the coach as well. And then it would just be the parent selecting the activity that the student wants to participate in. So it's a pretty general application process. Then you go to the participation process and requirements. Is there anything else, Kenny, on that form that you want to talk about?
No, I think we're good with that one.
Okay.
Let's go back. You're talking about the application, right?
Right.
Yeah.
So if you'll look down at the bottom, you'll see the activities listed. So just to talk about that, remember we talked last time that in FFA agriculture, you have some events, but those are governed by a different organization, meaning you have to be enrolled in the public school and enrolled in one of those classes to be able to participate. So that it wouldn't transcend in this situation. You can see that we currently do not have cheer or dance listed because those are tryout type things. They both have a tryout, and again, we try not to cut anyone. We have work programs, but we just didn't think that cheer and dance was conducive to this type of situation. That would be obviously, if y'all say to add it, we would add it. But as of right now, our suggestion would be not to. Again, cheer and dance are pocket cost to parents, and if I remember right, Mr. Kinney, cheer's like what, $1,800 or something like that. So that's and then what do you do? If somebody doesn't, you make them pay the $1,800 up front before they cheer. You know what I mean? It brings a different level. Don't mind adding it, but we would have to be. We can't be $1,800 out of pocket, right? We can't order your stuff until you pay for it. Those kind of things. So, if you did want to add that, we'll need to have a little separate document or subsection for that, and which we can do. But for the purposes right now, we haven't done that. And given that because those things have already started, they're year-round type things. It's a little bit different than some of these others. So, okay. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, participation process and requirements, the checklist.
Checklist.
There we go. Here is just a checklist that each family will receive to kind of help guide them through the process of registering and getting all their ducks in a row for participation. The before practice participation. Right now, we're proposing October 1st that everything be turned in, and moving into next school year will be July 31st, just so that we want everybody a part of the athletic period if you're going to join athletics. And I'll kind of get to that when we talk about the guidelines and expectations. And I'm not going to read everything, but kind of how we do things with new students is they'll meet in the front office with, I believe, Ms. McGahey. Mr. Kenny, is that correct? For registration Skyward.
Yes, sir.
And they walk you through the entire process of the Skyward registration and kind of everything that we need for that process. And then they'll send you over to the athletic side, which is going to be the field house, where myself and Miss Connie Ashley will kind of walk you through the rank 1 forms, which there's I think 5 or 6 forms that need to be filled out, and everything's online for that process. But everything is it's something that every athlete that they have to complete before the start of participation in practice or athletically. Kenny, anything else on that, in that section?
So one of the things, Coach Penny, I see missing is previous athletic participation form. You probably need to put that in there so that that the parents understand that we have to fill that out, and let's just say if it's swim, we have to send that application to the swim district, and it has to be approved for varsity competition, right?
Yes.
For them to be able to.
And all that is now included on the rank one forms.
I get it, it's in rank one, but I think it's more than just rank one. That's somebody else has to approve their participation.
Yes,
Right.
and that's really the first
So,
step.
and then the reason this is important, let's just say a kid wants to play basketball. Our kids can't have a professional basketball coach work with them and then come play UIL. Well, just because you're homeschooled doesn't mean you can. They would have to follow the same UIL rules. So there could be some situations where a kid could be found ineligible to participate through the competition district, through the PAPF form, right? So that's why I think it's important that be there. So.
Anything else? Good. The next section where it says before game event participation, that's just kind of on the academic side, making sure the testing is done before and everything is proficient there. And then the parental information acknowledgement. And let's see where else. And all of that's kind of going to get taken care of at the beginning stages of registration, which shouldn't be an issue. If you want to go to homeschool student athlete and guidelines and expectations, here is kind of more detailed as far as our expectation, and we talk about rank one forms. And did you go to the next one? And one of the proposals that we have, which I guess we're going to talk about, students must reside within our school district and provide proof of residency. Students must meet the UIL age, which I believe you cannot turn 19 before September 1st. Students must demonstrate academic proficiency. Students must submit to grade verification, which will provide an academic eligibility calendar for each family that comes in and registers. Students must complete a PAPF form.
There it is.
Which is the first thing that you have to fill out when you sign up for in rank one. And we'll walk you through that because the questions are kind of tricky when you answer them. Required documents, and that's kind of going to be step one with Mr. or Ms. McGahey, and then all the online forms. Of course, the physical is going to be required, and it's required of all athletes. And how we do physicals is it's every year. I know some school districts, they do every 2 years, we do every year. And we do provide physicals at the high school once a year, and it's on the cheaper side. So that is provided, that you'll have access to. And then all the other documents as well. And then the participation expectations, this just kind of goes in line with our athletic handbook. And one of the things that we really are going to emphasize is that the students attend the athletic period and that they maintain a 90% attendance rate. I think it's important for all kids to be a part of the process, be a part of the culture, the program. And then if they're going to be with us, they're going to be with us. So, I think that's a good time for us to develop relationships with our kids. So students must attend athletic periods, practices, meetings, workouts, contests, and other required team activities, just like enrolled athletes, and maintain a 90% attendance rate. Students must follow all team rules, and that just kind of goes in line with the student handbook, athletic handbook. And I'm not going to read through all of it. It's up there. Conduct and compliance, again, when we do the rank one forms, the very last, I believe it's the last form, is our athletic handbook. And it's however many pages with the signature at the end. So just stating that you kind of read through the athletic handbook. And we'll go over that with everyone, generally how we do with everybody else. And that's really it. Students may be subject to the same fees that other athletes are subject to. I think everything else we kind of talked about. And he touched base on it, Mr. G touched base on it. Students may not receive private coaching during the public school day. So if we have athletics at 2:00, our school day ends at 2:55. They cannot go to training or do anything like that during the school day. Athletes can train privately after school hours, but they cannot do it during school day. So I think that's important to note as well. And then too, there's with tournaments and all that stuff, you're required to be there. There's some tournaments that we have games at 9:00. And we want to make sure we maintain that 90% attendance rate. Yep, we don't miss games. Go to the next page, parent expectations. That's just kind of all the documents that we expect you guys to understand and to fill out. And again, we do a good job here of walking everyone through the steps. So the application process and understanding what's going on to me, won't be an issue because we'll walk you through everything and kind of answer any questions they have. Mr. Kenny, anything else?
We just, want to make sure that they're also on par academically. So when we talked about giving them an eligibility calendar, I will have to meet with the parents or whoever the homeschool person is and make sure that they're making progress in their academics just the same as we would expect our students to do so. The no pass, no play will still be in place. It would just be a different process as they would bring the information to me and we'd sit down and have discussions as opposed to teacher grades in our Skyward. So it would look a little bit different.
Just to continue and go a little deeper dive in it, meaning homeschool student can't just come, hey, I made a 70 in my English class. They're gonna have to approve work products to Mr. Kenny to show. They can't just tell Mr. Kenny. Mr. Kenny's responsible for verifying, yes, you have done this. Right? It's gonna be a little bit more extensive than somebody just coming in and say, here's my report
Here's my
card.
report card, right, exactly.
Yeah. So, couple of the things you've heard. First, when it comes to all of the questions that have been asked tonight, we have asked. And at the end of the day, the answer is it's the district's decision, right? Well, why is it say they can take a norm test? That's because if the local district wants to put no effort into it, then we can pass 100% of the responsibility to you. Well, we don't want to do that. We have home, anytime we have a kid, let's just say out of the country, out of state, homeschool comes, the first thing we do is give them the previous year's release STAR test, right? And you heard the term responsibility tonight. Our staff's going to be responsible. Our staff knows STAR. That's how they correlate. Every kid in our school is STAR. And so if you want Mr. Kenny to judge whether a kid's academically where they need to be, his best relation is STAR or EOC. Mr. Kenny's not a Iowa Basic Skills, TBS Level 3, da-da-da-da. He's not
I
that
haven't
guy.
done that one because I'm from Iowa.
Well, you are.
But that's the only one. The rest of them I'm not.
I picked a bad one, right? But my point is his correlation is that, and the answer is, can we do that? The answer is yes, right? What the rule meant, if we wanted to pass that expectation on, we can. But if we want to bring it in, we can too. And the idea is it would cost nothing, right? One of the reasons for the $100 fee, right, is because his testing coordinator at the high school is going to have to do this outside of normal hours, right? We're not going to test homeschool. We're not going to take an assistant principal out of walking the halls to test a homeschool kid during school day. She's going to do that after school hours. And so that's where the $100 comes in, is to pay for the time, pay the district time for that person to be able to get that done, right? And it's also a little carrot, right? The idea that we don't have to do the $100. That's fine if you don't want to. That was our suggestion, to have a little buy-in, right? And, if it's free, we talked about, if 5 kids enroll and then all of a sudden 2 don't show up and never come, it looks bad, right? But if you put something that, hopefully the idea was it's not too expensive, and anyway, that would be a one-time fee, whether they did 9 sports or 1 sport. right? And so it's just a one-time fee per year, right? So, I want to say what else. Anyway, so that's kind of where we're at. Every question that we've had and we call, it's our responsibility. Well, these are the rules, but if you want to do that, you can. Right? If you don't want them to come to athletic fair, they don't have to. If you want them to come to athletic fair, they can. We're required, right? You know, one of the big things here is that at a board level, you need to understand is there would be no level 3 grievance coming out of, meaning if somebody is in baseball and they don't play, they're not getting a chance to come to the school board and complain, right? A level 1, level 2, level 3 grievance. That wouldn't. Those are only enrolled for students that are enrolled in school. So.
Can I throw a question out?
Please do.
Ernest and Mr. Kenny, have you talked to your head coaches? I know each sport has guideline outside of the regular athletic code of conduct. Are they comfortable with all of this? I mean, I'm just asking that.
As long as they can hold those athletes to the same standards that they hold their
That's
current
it.
athletes, they're fine. Then
Okay.
that's.
And they've all been approached more or less to know what's
They've
happening.
been told I'll be honest with you, they've been told what's gonna happen.
Good, okay,
Doesn't mean they like it.
okay. I'm just double checking on the outside.
Band's is included. I haven't personally talked to band.
I have not personally had conversations with Nick Hackett outside of knowing that it's been opened up to UIL, and he did not express any concerns. No,
He was fine.
yeah, he asked if they could come to class, was the only thing he had asked.
So his problem is he's already got a marching show, right?
And that's why this year, the same with football, it's hard to start this year, and that's why we put the October 1 date. Moving forward, we want July 31st, end of July, so that they are held to the same expectation, same timeline as every student. And that's even baseball, so they can't just wait until baseball season to say we want to be a part of this and then show up to baseball athletics. They're expected to be there
Can
all
they
year.
come to
just like-
band to get
Yes.
structured in? Okay,
No, if they come to band, the idea they would come to the band class every morning.
okay,
And that was Hackett's concern, he wanted them there so they could do the same things.
okay.
And theater, same, y'all talk to them, and choir.
So that's a good clarification, meaning, so if we do the October 1 and everybody's approved, October 2nd, band kids are coming to band class, right?
Give them their badge.
Football kids are coming to football, right? Yeah, exactly. Meaning, if somebody moves in December, they're gonna have to wait till July 31st. For the following year.
And I guess for like the UIL academic event, or what are y'all listing here? Yeah, UIL academics, I mean, you don't really know if they're just interested in that, they just check that box, just on
They
the
have
off
to,
chance that
but yeah, they're gonna have to be approved this time.
And then we would have to see what
they're
they'd be interested in and get with the sponsors when they're doing practices and set that up for them to
They
go to
want
that.
to come in, okay.
And it'll be an individual, like, we're talking, I don't know if we have a swim athletics, right? We're not gonna create one just for homeschool.
Right.
But it will be bending by sport, what that sport does. Like if we have a dance period, we're not doing dance, but we have a football athletics, we have a basketball athletics, right? We don't have swim athletics, but we have swim practices, right? So
Correct.
it would be.
No golf athletics, but they have practice.
What is rank 1?
Rank 1 is just a software, it's a software system
Okay.
that has all of the parent eligibilities, the physicals. And so if you can imagine, yeah.
Drug permission form for random drug testing, all the.
So that kind of got skipped over. One of the things that, they have to understand is that they would go on the random student drug testing list. They wouldn't get to opt out of that either.
Yeah, I read that.
Okay, does anybody else have any questions on any board members have any questions?
So the idea is to tweak this and bring it back to you in the September 15th meeting. Are there any glaring things that you would like us to address? Or?
Very good start. I mean,
Yeah.
y'all done a heck of a job.
Gotta give most of the credit to Mr. Pena there, so.
Good job. I mean,
He researched with other districts that have that in place.
that's right. Y'all did some leveraging, or what y'all do? Do some talking to the people?
He did, he reached out to some districts that have had it in place and then kind of tweaked it a little bit from there.
And so just, Ms. Rucker, just to settle your concerns, if we did that STAR testing, right, the ELCs, that we're only going to share the results with you. It's not We're not posting it online for the world to see. It would just be an individual conversation with you.
Well, what I'm wondering is, will you get the funding, the state funding,
Yes.
even if it's
Yeah.
October after the 6 weeks and if it's start
So
test?
I get it. All of those rules are really opt-outs for a district. I mean, we can make it hard on you, right? And those are rules to make it hard on you. I hope we're not doing this to be negative. We're actually doing it to be nice. Because we can help you a lot better if we do this route. Plus, it's a lot quicker. Meaning you don't have to schedule it 60 days out, drive to Houston to a testing site, right? We're gonna work with you and take care of this and make it easy. It's not a gotcha, but from that responsibility standpoint of Mr. Kinney, that's what he understands. Now, if you wanna argue with our legislature that maybe we shouldn't have to take that test, we could probably work with you on that.
You just let me know what you need me to say.
You don't listen as well as we do.
If we're good, we'll put it in. Okay.
Thank you for the hard work on that. Okay, next we're gonna go back up to maintenance report.
Well, I don't have a whole lot to say. I want to kind of bring you up to speed. The water well is complete. We're just waiting for the state's approved testing, whatever criteria that has to go through and be met. Follow that. We're putting a fence around it as part of that project. I have reached out. We're looking at tying that water well in. It hasn't been done yet, but to tie that into the building. Originally, we talked about leaving the old water well just for the ag barn, but in conversations with Mr. Calloway and a few other people, we decided to leave both in play. In case one goes down, we still have the other well as an alternate, and we don't have to cancel school while we wait for repairs. So we'll be able to isolate and valve using each well independently as needed in case of any kind of emergencies. Following that, roofing projects are still ongoing. We did have a little bit of material delay and then some weather delays, so that kind of put us behind the 8 ball. But a couple of those groups are working after hours and on weekends to try to get caught up. Beyond that, I mean, it's business as usual. We're just rolling and trying to keep the wheels greased and things moving.
Now the well, has it been tested already with TCEQ?
My understanding from Mr. Felder is yes. The
Okay.
sample has been sent.
You ain't got the results yet, right?
I have not.
Yeah.
And until we get the results, we can't hook up to it, correct?
Correct.
Okay. Okay.
Other than that, it's just questions, comments, concerns.
I guess if you're gonna leave both wells online, you're gonna kind of come up with some kind of alternate rotation to kind of keep things physically moving,
No.
lines flushed and everything?
The ag barn will primarily be fed from the old well.
Okay,
The campus will be from the new well.
okay.
And then we'll have some isolation valves to be able to redirect and use whichever well we need to in those.
So there won't be
events.
no stagnant lines?
Correct.
All right, because
And you could do a flush if you need to. right?
Yes, yeah.
you gotta keep that chlorine in there and all that.
Right. Yeah, we'll have the ability, we'll have an external tap to be able to flush lines on a periodic basis, just so that we can circumvent any kind of stagnation.
Anybody else? Thank you, Justin.
Thank y'all.
All right, next, safety and security.
Not a lot this month, so there should be a signature page for you in there that I need you to sign. We did complete our safety audit, our 3-year safety audit this year, so I'm just waiting for the stamp to sign that, and I can submit that and get that completed. Moving into the next school year, we'll have our first safety and security committee meeting next Wednesday at 4 p.m. here in the boardroom. If you would like to attend, we would love to have you. It's always good to sit around and listen to the first responders talk.
What was that again, Mr. Miller?
Next Wednesday, the 20, or is what, the 19th, 27th, 26th or 27th? 26th.
26th? It's Wednesday?
I'm gonna tell you officially.
Or 26th?
26th,
Where's that at?
here, 4 p.m. in this room. Love to have you. Other than that, we're just working on our September submissions for our emergency operation plans. We have to submit our basic plan this year, and also they're requiring us to do a new reunification plan. We have a reunification plan, but they're asking us to make it fit the Texas School Safety Center template. So those are the things that are going on right now. Chief's report's in your folder, but I don't think there was anything on it for last month. I think it's empty. So if I don't have anything else for you, so if you have any questions, please let me know.
All right, thank you, Mr. Miller. Next, we have instructional update.
So if you look in your packet, you have kind of a thick packet. It's the front of it says 25-26 preliminary accountability results. So the state of Texas this is from state testing this past school year. On Friday, the state of Texas on texasschools.gov did release that. And so what I have is printed information for you. Looking at the first page, this is for CBISD as a district. This is the summary. You can see overall CBISD scored a 77, which is a C rating. And then for looking for trends, at the very bottom left, I've given you from 23, 24, 25, and 26 what the district scores were for that year. If you turn the page, this gets to Columbia High School. So you can see this year overall, Columbia High School is at 83, a B-rated campus. You can see their progress from 23, 24, 25 to 26. And Columbia High School did receive an academic achievement distinction in reading and language arts, which was reflected in the TIA awards that we handed out this year at the high school. Okay. The next page, we've talked in the past about how each school has this 40 person group that they're compared against for those academic distinctions. To the far right, you see the quartiles, and what we've talked about is we want our schools to finish in quartile 1 or quartile 2, or in the top half of the schools that they're compared across. You can see this year, the high school finished in quartile 1 or 2 and 9 out of the 12 categories, which was a big jump from the previous year. And then we carry the same format through. 2 pages later, you have West Brazos Junior High. West Brazos Junior High scored a 77 this year, which is a C-rated campus. They did receive an academic achievement distinction in social studies. And you can see their progress from 2023 to 2026. The next page shows you their academic, their quartile report. You can see among the 16 areas, they finished in quartile 1 or 2 in 10 of the 16. Next page, West Columbia Elementary. West Columbia Elementary has overall score of a 69, which is a D-rated campus. At the bottom, you can see their academic progress from 2023, 2024, 2025, and 2026. And then in the next page, you can see their quartile report. They finished in quartile 1 or 2 and 2 out of the 12 areas that they're graded. Okay, next page is Barrow Elementary. Barrow Elementary is a 76, which is a C-rated campus. Received an academic achievement distinction in science. And then, of course, at the bottom, you can see 2023, 2024, 2025, and 2026. I'll show you theirs. The next page is their quartile report. And you can see that they finished in quartile 1 or 2 and 9 out of the 12 areas. And then there is no Wild Peach because there is no testing at Wild Peach. And so Wild Peach is linked to who? Is linked to the district report. So the Wild Peach academic status is that of Columbia, Missouri ISD. So with that lays you out. I know we had some discussion. Greg had sent an email really that, hey, man, I would like to see some trends on, let's talk about meets and masters and what really means. And we were having a discussion, right? Because when you look at that stuff laid out, you get to pass fail, But then when you try to get to meets and masters and make the numbers get to 100, it don't work, right? And so, Greg had said, hey, as a team building, I would like to do that. I think that's a great idea. I know Julie chimed in, and, y'all have this report that we print, and every time you get it, the numbers get smaller and the boxes get smaller because it's a lot of information. Well, that's just the working information for us, right? But you guys don't do that every day. And so I told Greg, I said, probably have some, what would you like to see? Because what we try to do is give you all the information where you could go back 2 years. But if you're looking at 4th grade, you have to go back to 3rd grade the previous year, and then they were in 2nd, so nothing's there. That, you know what I mean? So, but I did share a report with you by email today that Mr. Miller did several years ago over high school scores. And what he did is it showed you that kids that are enrolled in career and technology courses at Columbia High School way outperform any other subset of kids at Columbia High School. That was the #1 predictor of success in English 1, English 2, ELCs, and Algebra ELCs. If you were enrolled in career and technology, and specifically if not just one class, but you were somebody that was on a program of study, then you way outperformed any subset of other students at Columbia High School. We could provide something like that. We have the data, we have the scores, it wouldn't be hard to do. The question is, what would you like to see? Or do you want to think about it? But
Well, my deal was, when I was looking at that Excel spreadsheet, and I was looking at the percentages, and I was tying them percentages to a number of students, and I'm going, this ain't equaling up.
No.
And I'm going, either I'm off base or something, so I'm finally asking the question, I need some assistance on trying how to determine all this information. So that's why I asked for a workshop on it.
Yeah.
And so we had a little discussion prior to the meeting, and I was way off base what I was thinking. I said, these percentages ain't tying up to a number.
Yeah.
And so that's the way I was looking at it. So, and I couldn't make hill of beans out of it because it was saying like 15%. Well, okay, is it 15% of 100 students or what? So that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I was way off base because when he told me what it was, I went, oof.
But team building is meant to be something that really, really helps you. And at the end of the day, I think that would be a great time if we could schedule like a Tuesday night. And the idea would be invite all instructional, right? And be here so that we talk and basically we kind of create we're on the same point moving forward so that everybody kind of understands, right? And we can kind of talk about what you would like to see. Because that's difficult for us too, quite honestly. What do you want to see? Because when we start looking at trends and we try to put all that same information on the same piece of paper, that really gets confusing, right? And so Greg and I also talked about, from 2023 to now, it's pretty simple. But when we get into test changing or a year where we're not graded, and those kind of things really throw things off. But I'd love to set a time if y'all are for that, and then we can definitely do that, and we kind of just start from the beginning about here's what this means, right? Here's what meet masters, here's how this is done, and then what would you like? Here's how we've been doing business, right? Release test and things like that. And if you see with some of the recent legislation, we've probably had to cut back a little bit, right? Because we can only spend so much time in that area as well. Right.
So why don't you and the board shoot us some dates like you usually do, and we can go from
We
there.
can go
Is
there.
everybody good with that?
I mean, what does the board think? I'm only one.
No, I think that's great.
Yeah.
I had taken the Excel spreadsheet, took everything out but star scores.
Yeah.
And then I started color coding 3rd grade to 4th grade.
Right.
So I could.
So some of you may remember the report used to do that, right? We put it in a way where it's stair-stepped, right?
Right.
And then we color coded it. But the problem is when you put it all on one page and you put every test, you run out of colors. Especially when your printer's not good, right?
Yeah.
And so, yeah. But yeah, we can definitely get that done. I think it's a great idea.
Okay, anybody else have anything else in that? Were you done with that? Okay, next we'll go to the district improvement plan.
Mr. Miller, Jennifer, anybody gonna hit that?
Don't everybody jump at once.
Yeah. What is it? Is it 412 pages long? I mean,
There's nothing new that I know Samantha's worked on the reissuing it. No changes. Everything that we had applied for is still where we're wanting to continue. So.
I can tell you from the safety, security side and the career and technology side and the higher education side, that nothing in the DIP has changed from last year to this year. I can't speak on that.
I do have one question if we could go. On the college career and military, their scores on the high school was like 96, but last year was like 70-something. What made that?
So on the CCMR side, that follows a year behind. So basically, that score is the class of 2025. Well, the class of 2025 was a very talented class, but also through collaboration between myself and Sam and Mr. Kinney and the counselors, we came up with a plan 2 years ahead of 2 years. So that would have been in 2023 to create a plan for those kids to be so high. And so what we did is we focused on our dual credit. That's why our dual credit is so important, because a kid that's in learning frameworks automatically, if they pass learning frameworks, they meet the English, they've passed an English college course and they're automatically CCMR'd. And that's important because that counts in domain 1 and in domain 3 of the accountability of the 3 domains. It hits you twice. And the high school is the only one that gets it. And I've told Jeff, I said, so they've changed the rules. So we have 1 more year before it will probably drop back down into the 80s because they're making it realistic. They've tightened up the screws. They see how some of the districts can kind of leverage certain things that they know that and they're making it fair for everybody, which I understand. But we're going to have, I think the class of 26 is going to be 93, 92%, not quite as high, but still in the 90s. It has to, in order to get an A in CCMR, it has to be 88%. So, whereas before, so remember the lawsuits, it came from this, because it used to be 60% to be an A. We were always 66, 67% historically for years. And then just boom, they jumped it up to 88% for an A, and everybody's scores dropped, and that's when the lawsuits hit. That's why lawsuits happen, in my opinion. It is. So.
Great question.
But yeah, we worked hard on that 2 years ahead of time to get that too.
Okay, anybody else have anything? Okay, we'll move to the financial report.
Okay, so we are at 8% through the year so far, and we have spent approximately 6.25% of our local budget. So right now, feeling pretty good.
Feeling pretty good. Yeah. Oh my goodness. Anybody have any questions on the financial report, concerns? Thank you. And we're going to go to quarterly investment reports.
So, quarterly investment report lines out all the interest rates that we receive on all our different funds. Our biggest one, where the majority of our money sits, is holding pretty steady. It's dropped a little bit from this time last year, but we're sitting at 3.7 for the majority of our funds, which is a really good interest rate at this time. So.
Hey, does anybody have any questions on that? Okay, we will move to Brazoria Heritage Foundation.
I put some information in your packet. This stems out of a conversation, probably about a 2-year-long conversation with David Jordan, representing the Brazoria Heritage Foundation. No, it's fine. But here's what happened. So back before consolidation and when it was Brazoria ISD, the land across from the elementary school where the water tanks are now, the water tanks didn't used to be there. Used to be bus parking. And so as I was able to go through documents of the district, I found out that that it was bus parking. The city was interested. The city wanted to buy the whole lot, right? Because if you look at there's a map in your folder. If you look at the little area striped, you can see that there's 5 lots there, but if you call it split in half, there were 10, right? 5 on the north side, 5 on the south side. Anyway, the district did not sell, or Brazoria, well, let me take it back. First of all, somebody else owned the land, and after death, Brazoria bought the land. So after Brazoria bought the land, so now it's CBISD, and then the city of Brazoria approaches CBISD about buying the land. Wanted to buy it all. Over a period of years, there's a negotiation where they kind of went in and did a survey and sold them a little section of 2.5 lots. Well, since then, everybody's assumed it's CBISD land, and so when the when that Brazoria Elementary, Brazoria Intermediate consolidation in 2002 from the 1998 bond to create Barrow Elementary, and then that property of Brazoria Elementary was deeded to, it wasn't Brazoria Heritage Foundation yet, it was, I want to say, I can't remember the name of the foundation that started, but anyway, we deeded the property to them. It had a Texas historical name on it, I can't remember. But anyway, the property was deeded to them, and then it eventually became Brazoria Heritage Foundation. But when we deeded it, this piece of land was not on the deed, this striped piece of land. And so I think what happened is, because of what happened with the sales of the land, I think that it somehow or another, it just got left off the meets and the bounds. And so basically David said, I'm getting old, I'm not gonna be doing this too much longer. Mr. Galloway, you're getting old, you're not gonna be doing this too much longer. And before us two forget, because we're the only two that remember, let's get this done if we can. And so what David approached me was asking me tonight if this is something verbally you'd be willing to do. And if that's the case, then Brazoria Heritage would take the ownership of going through to get the legal requirements in place, meaning the survey, the deeds, and then bring you a correction deed that you would approve. And that would officially donate this land and make it part of your original donation to Brazoria Heritage Foundation. I mean, they mow it and keep it.
Yeah.
I mean, if we were to ask 100 people, they would all say, oh, no, that's Brazoria Heritage Foundation. It's just,
We use it all the time for functions that we have,
Right.
so.
Right. Again, I don't think anybody meant to not make that. I just think it was an oversight that happened, and, So.
I'm personally fine with it. Does anybody have an issue without them moving forward? Because, the survey and stuff costs quite a bit of money.
They're gonna take care
of the financial piece of it.
Okay,
I'll let Mr. Jordan know.
thank you. Okay, we're gonna move into action items. We're gonna have the consideration and action to approve an agreement for the purchase of attendance credits netting Chapter 48 funding and to delegate contractual authority to the superintendent.
So this you've done over the past several years. Years ago, there was I think Julie almost fell down when she got the letter when she was CFO the first year.
I thought it was saying we had to pay.
Right. But for some other reason, there's a calculation, and we get the we'll never be a property-rich school district. We'll never have to pay money back to the state, but you have to vote on anyway, leave it at that, so.
Yeah. Okay, does anybody have any questions? Okay, I'll make a motion that we approve the agreement for the purchase of attendant credit and to delegate contractual authority to the superintendent. Do I have a second? Second by Jackie. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? That carries. Next, we're going to approve the meeting date of September 15th, 2026 to discuss and adopt the 2026 tax rate.
Jennifer?
I'd like to bring something for you to consider on the 15th. Well, what we're not bringing forward anything to change the tax rate. We like to continue the tax rate where it is. We'll just make all the final decisions at the next board meeting.
Okay, everybody good with September 15th board meeting?
In that previous thing we voted on, the chapter 48 thing, it said something about having to get approval before we could adopt a tax rate.
Yes, we have to have that submitted. That's why we can't adopt the tax rate tonight, because we have to turn in all of that paperwork and the TEA says, yes, you can adopt a tax rate.
So this should give us enough time?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Okay, I'll make the motion that we move the meeting date for September to September 15th, 2026 to discuss and adapt the 2026 tax rate. Do I have a second? Second by Julie. All those in favor? Opposed? That carries. Okay, next we're going to consider staff compensation for the 26-27 school year.
Okay, in your folder, you'll find 2 sheets. I did attach it, it was attached in the board book, but there's 2 sheets and I want you to look at them. One at the bottom has a grand totals line across the bottom that's shaded that Jennifer added this afternoon for you in case you wanted to look. But yeah, find the one that has the gray shaded area at the bottom with that, so.
I just thought y'all really wanted me to consider it. So you gave me
No,
this.
it's not, there's no recommendation in
I
there.
just have one question, and I should have emailed you. I've had a crazy week. I apologize. But how do you get 12,400 if it's going to be $1,000?
Because it includes the extra taxes and fringe things that we have to pay on it as well.
So like the TRS, it's a total cost, not
It's a
just,
total cost.
it's a total cost to the district.
Okay, so we don't necessarily have, so we don't have
Simple.
192 teachers?
We do, but that, you may have a certain number of teachers in that years of experience.
So, I guess I'm still not understanding that, sorry.
Okay,
It's not sinking in.
okay.
So, but why is $400 not off on anything else? It's just this one right here.
So I rounded.
Okay.
I rounded.
Oh, I mean, I'm just asking because when I was
Yes.
figuring it today, I'm like, we can't have 0.4 teachers, so that's why I was wondering.
So we do have 12 teachers in that category.
Okay.
And I just rounded the rest of them, honestly.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I was just asking. Okay.
Yep.
Okay,
Because there's more to it than the dollar amount that goes on their check.
Right,
It's all
right.
the benefits and.
but all the rest of them were exactly even, so that's why I was asking you about that one.
Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Pay attention.
I loved it.
Well
We
done,
have
Jennifer.
a 0.4 teacher walking
Notice I'm
around.
not the numbers person, I'm just, yeah. Go through it.
Okay,
Slow and easy.
so what are y'all thoughts on compensation?
I was
Okay,
looking at it from the total cost from down, from the whole deal. And I'm looked at the 2% column and I looked at the 1% column and I looked at the difference and there's $204,500 between the two. So I was adding my numbers up and far as we looking at it on the budget, I mean, I think we're gonna have to kind of be a little on the tight side. What does the board think?
Well, you know me, because I had asked Jennifer today, we were talking about, because we did get our final tax roll that also went down too, so that would create even a little bit more deficit. I think we thought it was like 200,000 additional deficit. And so for me, I was looking at the 1%.
but enrollment is up considerably since last year.
We're sitting good right now. We're just under 2,900 kids, which is, we're above where we were at this time last year. So we're sitting good, but I mean,
Well, if we did 26, what percent of that?
We did, I want to say we
2680.
Yeah, we did 2680 on the budget. So if you were to do about a 93, that's close. That's close about where you budgeted right now. So you're not necessarily bringing in an extra yet.
We were 2680 on the budget, and then we're, how many on the students right now?
We're at 28, but
28.
when we're 2680, we're talking 88. So that's about a 93% attendance.
Yeah.
So
You sent out the email about enrollment. What was that number again? Yeah.
we had like 2862 on day one,
Okay.
which was almost 100 kids above where we started last year.
Okay.
All right, so if the trend's a trend where we get kids in, in October, that type of thing, we'll have to see.
When we know the final enrollment, has it steadily gone up, the
It's still
enrollment
going
this
up, yeah.
week, or has it gone down?
It's going up every day.
So you're considering 1%.
I was just looking at, but we're already at, if you consider the new, the final tax roll numbers that we're getting, we were at like 1,041,000 deficit. That's another 200 there. Plus the 138 for the band tower, then you would have this, plus the money from the increasing the healthcare contribution. You'll be pushing 2 million deficit.
Yeah.
Just with the 1%.
Some local districts have done nothing other than healthcare. Some local districts have done healthcare and some more. Keep in mind, right, yeah. Keep in mind, we give you all this so that, we divide the employees into different groups so that if you wanted to do more somewhere and less somewhere, you have that option, right? You don't have to just pick a column and stay in it.
I think it was good that on the hourly, you've already increased any low paying. You already increased that to the 1228, so that's good.
Yeah.
That's meaning that covers that insurance of those people that were on our needed side.
And just keep in mind, to the far right, you had the 500 and the 1,000, which you could divide it up however you wanted to in installments throughout one payment, two payments, however you wanted to do that. That would not be TRS eligible if you were to pick one of those. And it wouldn't be part of the compensation you're guaranteed to cover for next year. So, just
My feelings
throwing that
were,
out there.
looking at it, I was leaning more to the $1,000 compensation and breaking it some now and some at Christmas like we've done before. I just don't think a 1%, the teachers are gonna feel it at all. And, the cost of living, we know is terrible. I would rather see us do something to make sure they see some of their money.
Well, you need to remember last year, the teachers got an 8,000, they got like a 15% raise.
Yeah, I
And the
know.
other employees did not. So they got a considerable jump last year.
And they do quite a bit, so,
But Steve, you're saying the 1,000 and the 500 doesn't go into their T, it would not.
So if you picked a 1,000 or a 500,
Right.
it would not be TRS eligible. It would be considered a bonus.
A bonus.
Meaning, if we had done this, say, back in May, you could argue that you're paying them for the work they're due.
Right.
But they've already started work. You can't necessarily say you're paying them for the work they do. So if you do the one time, it wouldn't meet TRS eligibility standards. But at the same time, it doesn't, like, from a standpoint, it doesn't lock you into that number for the next year. All right, and so, there were years when the board did that.
Right.
And it's a good thing. I will tell you that, if you get $500 at one time versus $25 extra on one check, you're getting that money and you see it and you can do something with it versus, it makes a difference.
So you could also we could vote in 500 now if you wanted to, and then see how the budget's going throughout
Yeah.
the
500
year.
later.
I was gonna ask,
And
okay.
possibly do another then, if the budget looks better.
It's a separate check sent? It's not rolled into
It gets included in whatever check.
whatever month or whatever week?
Whatever month
Okay.
that is. So
Got
we used to do it like that,
Right.
where we did a separate check, but the problem is sometimes people don't do their taxes right. Right, and then eventually it finds its way back to us.
Correct.
Right, and so that's really hard. And for our purposes, it's better just to go ahead and do it and get the taxes out of it, and you don't have to worry about that piece of it. But Julie is correct, you could do a conservative 500, just say when you want to do it. You know, I'll just tell you this.
Around Christmas even.
Well, I was gonna say Black Friday's always a good.
Well, I did a little survey.
Yeah.
And they'd rather have a percent, the people that I talked to.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
even if it was,
It'll carry forward.
yes, because
keep-
it's
it keeps
building
going.
on raising them
Yep.
over a good course of time.
I agree with you.
But I would also not be opposed to doing a lesser percent maybe for the teachers that got the 8,000 or the 4,000, and a little more for the hourly.
It's
And
gonna be a nightmare for y'all. Y'all go ahead
We
and
can
do
do
that.
it.
Okay.
You tell me what to do and we'll do it.
Okay.
I mean, yeah, 1%, you know, for the person making $12.28 is a joke. I mean, it is, you know, but, you know, if you're in the 50-something thousand dollar, 1%, they would see that, you know. So, I mean, I'd be all right dividing it up some, however we wanted to do that. It's probably gonna fall somewhere around or below the 400,000 number though.
So let's kind of look at it from a different side. Let's look at it and see what we can afford from, instead of worrying about the 1% or 2%, what can we stretch that budget to?
Nothing.
No, I know, but
So let's
that's not
dream.
gonna that's not gonna probably be the answer, but what can we, look at it from the backside?
I think budget-wise, we do with the $500 and then look at it again in a few months to see if our enrollment's up and how the budget is, and maybe do
And then
another
also then you'll
500.
have your audit back in December. You'll know what went into fund balance this year to see, are you gonna even out and stay the same year over year with your, let's say we put $1 million in this year, but we lose $1 million. We put in this year, this next year, we lose it. We're still sitting at the same fund balance.
Mm.
But you'll know that in December, after the November board meeting, after the audit, then we'll know what went into fund balance that might cover what our deficit is now too. So that's another thing to look at.
I say we look at it from that point of view.
So don't do anything right now?
No, I'm saying
Oh.
we go ahead and do
So
something
do
now.
something right now.
and then-
Yeah, and then look at
And
it.
then look at it again,
Yeah.
once we get through the audit.
Okay, so you're thinking $500 stipend? Or $500, is that what we call it?
But just you could just say a $500 payment. Now, one of the things you can do is, let's talk about this. So let's say you say to give it to them on their November 10th check, just picking a date. Well, what you're doing is you're tying them in. It's kind of like a longevity stipend. You're locking it in for the year. Let's say they resign in November 12th.
Mhm.
Well, they owe us the money back, right? Because they got to finish the year. So, I mean, that could be it's an incentive, right? This is what you're doing. It's an incentive for you to work here. It's an incentive for you to stay here through the end of your contract. And if you leave, you get, when we do their payoff, we get a little bit of money back because we calculated in the payoff. So.
What is a November payday?
November 10th.
10th and 25th, so the 25th, it would be, they get that check the Thursday before Thanksgiving, so, I mean, quite honestly, that's probably your best date, I would think, right? The second November payday.
So what is everybody's thought?
You and Jackie are being quiet.
Putting myself in the teacher position where I've been before.
I know.
And
Not that I've been a teacher.
the 1%, I'm sorry, it sucks. Okay. As an educator, but from the money side of it, a $500 pop would be good and then reevaluate. It's not a bad decision. And I'd be up in those way teacher 30-year things, so.
And we've had this discussion's happened, Linda's exactly correct. you know, we've had that discussion because if you're a teacher sitting at retirement and you know this is your last year,
Right.
you want
That's
you want
right.
it to count, right?
That's
So,
it.
I mean,
That's
I
what-
get it. It's a valid concern.
Remind me which teachers got the 8 and the 4 last year? How did that work? Which ones did we do to
If
which?
you had 5 years or more, you
5 or
got
more.
8,000.
Okay, 5 or
If
more.
you had 3 to 5 years, 3 or 4, you had 4,000. And then those people who moved up from the 4 to 5, they're getting an additional 4,000 too this year.
This year.
So those teachers are gonna get that 4,000 on top of whatever we give.
Right. Well, mine definitely is.
That was just teachers, no admin
Yeah,
or
wasn't
anything else.
It was just teachers.
That was just teachers, right?
We did have some money to do something for the hourly though.
You did 2%, I think, for the hourly.
And your 0 to 2 teachers.
Huh?
And the 0 to 2
And the
teachers.
0 to 2
About that
teachers,
same
right?
Last year.
Well, are y'all ready to vote on it? Any more discussion on it?
Somebody's gotta make a motion that I'm, see.
So we have to actually vote on a plan, correct?
Yes, you have to approve something or nothing, yeah.
Plan.
Mhm.
I move that we, proceed with the 500 now. And then after the audit, we take a second look for another additional.
And by now you mean they would get it on their November 25th paycheck?
Yes.
Okay.
And then, look, after the audit, we get a little bit, we'll consider a next one.
Okay. I have a motion. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jewelry. All in favor?
Aye.
Show of hands. Well, I just can't, no, I can't hear y'all. I couldn't hear y'all. That's why I asked show of hands.
It's okay. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Okay. Okay, that,
That was me.
well, no, I couldn't hear y'all. That's why I was asking. You told me that last meeting. We couldn't hear Julie. You raised hands. Okay, that carries.
Thank
Okay.
y'all very much.
Next, we're gonna consider naming of a district facility.
All right, so after the last meeting, you did vote to change the name of Griggs Field, and so I put out my feelers and did my, Coach Penny never gave me any feedback from the Booster Club, but I'm gonna assume all's okay. But talking to the old timers from West Columbia and people that actually played for Jack Hayes said that their wish is for it to be Jack Hayes Stadium at Griggs Field. And so I can't argue with that.
I live with one of those oldies.
Right. So, you know, quite honestly, we had a discussion generally at something stadium, something field at something stadium. But you know what? Hey, we'll be different. So, I mean, it's actually kind of cool, I guess. So Jack Hayes Stadium at Griggs Field is a recommendation.
Alrighty, I'll make a motion that we name this name,
Rename.
rename Griggs Field to Jack Hayes Stadium at Griggs Field. Do I have a second?
I'll second.
Second by Jana, all in favor? All opposed? Julie, you didn't say anything.
Aye. I was reading.
Okay.
We'll be happy, thank you.
That passes. Okay, next we're gonna consider the consent agenda. Approval of the minutes of July 21st, 26th regular meeting and July 28th, 26th special meeting. Approve budget and amendments and donations. Approve adult meal prices. Approve Columbia Brazoria ISD endorsement for TASB Director Region 4B. Approve medical school health standing orders for the 2026-2027. Approve dual credit agreement between Brazos Fort College and Columbia Brazoria ISD. Approve the 2026-2027 Brazoria County Adjunction Facility Agreement, Columbia Brazoria ISD. Board certification requirements under Texas Education Code 39.008 as enacted by Senate Bill 1289 Texas Legislative Session. Approve interlocal agreement between Damon ISD and Columbia Brazoria ISD. Does anybody want something pulled?
On the minutes, I think it was the 21st, it said Ray had made a motion or second and he wasn't here. I don't remember exactly what it was, but it was.
He was at the special meeting, but not the other one.
Yeah, he was at the 21st.
Yeah.
It had his name in there as approving or.
I missed it.
Missed it too. People got these eagle eyes.
I'm trying to read everything.
I know.
Since I don't know.
Me too, girl. Start getting cross-eyed after all.
It's under the meal prices. I'll fix it.
Okay, was that your only? That's it? Okay. I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Greg, all in favor? Opposed? Oh my gosh. That carries. All righty, we're gonna adjourn to closed session pursuant to Texas Governmental Code, the Open Meeting Act. Consider the employment of professional personnel, discuss resignation, retirement of professional personnel, and discuss performance of personnel. And it's 7:30. Sorry.